This is One on One. We're pleased to welcome Rebecca Robertson, who is the founding president and executive producer, Park Avenue Armory, which is located where?
It's located between 66th and 67th on Park Avenue.
So we're right at 66 and Broadway. He goes right across the park.
Yep.
And then?
And then there you are at this huge, gorgeous armory.
Make it come alive for us. We're going to show some pictures.
Okay.
What is it?
So what the armory is, and there's a picture of it there right now, it's 250,000 square feet. It's a full block. Right. And it was built by the kind of rich guys who ran the economy of New York in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s.
Right.
And it was built as they were part of the National Guard, but the National Guard was a volunteer unit. 1860s, yeah, 70s. And so basically they paid for this armory privately. They raised money for it. So it was the Astors and the Vanderbilts and the Schuyler's and all those Rhinelanders, all those New York families. But they wanted to have an armory that was really beautiful. So they paid for it themselves. It's the only privately built armory in the country.
Describe what is inside of it.
So it has 18 unbelievably beautiful period rooms, including the only period being sort of historic rooms. They are by the great designers of the 19th century, including Louis Comfort Tiffany, Stanford White, the Herder brothers. It's those important designers.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
look at that shot.
It was really built as a social club, I will say. I do believe. But then...
Like they hung out there?
Pardon me?
I mean, some folks hung out as a social...
Oh, absolutely.
Not like a social club down on Mulberry Street when I was a kid. Not like that kind.
Well, it was, actually.
But not for...
Just better food.
Not for
what can I tell you?
People from Naples, where my family is from. No. This is a different crowd.
Many of them actually originally from Holland, I think.
From Holland.
You know those families, like the Skylar's.
Got it.
Yeah, got it. Anyway, but they had incredible taste. So they hired these amazing designers who were building their cottages in Newport and their mansions on Fifth Avenue to do the interiors of this building.
Right.
So the Landmarks Commission called it the most important intact set of historic interiors in the country.
In the country.
In the country. So that's one part of it. And then behind those beautiful rooms, there is a 55,000 square foot drill hall, has no columns, and it was designed to look like the inside of a European train station. And it really is beautiful, I gotta say. I'm sure we have, there! Yeah, there we are.
Oh,
now, we
my
don't
God.
do that anymore. So this was the concert that it opened with. It opened with a musical concert, and supposedly there were 6,000 people in the audience and 1,200 performers between chorus and musicians. We wouldn't be allowed to do that anymore. No fire laws.
Their performances, this is today.
Well, today we now have it. It's an art center. We are kind of a group of citizens who saved the building, and then we want to. Well, it was owned by the National Guard, but by the state of New York. It had kind of fallen onto hard times, and it really wasn't used very much.
Owned by the National Guard?
Yeah, the National Guard.
So not being.
It really wasn't used. I mean, they would rent it out from time to time, but it was sort of falling apart. And then, it really started to fall apart. So our founder, Wade Thompson, lived across the street, and he saw that the bricks were falling on the sidewalk. He saw the rats coming out of the building and the spalling of the brick. So he got together a group to sort of go to the government and say, give us the building, we will restore it, and we will turn it into a fantastic cultural center.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Who goes there? And by the way, more people go because of this. But what kind of folks find their way there and why?
Well, I think because in that drill hall, so what we decided would be something we could do in the New York cultural world that nobody does. You have to do something that nobody does.
It's got to stand out here.
It's got to stand out because in New York, they already do everything, right? So we thought what it was like was a big found space. So instead of a traditional theater where you go, you are...
what is that?
Sheep. Sheep are very...
What?
This was a sellout show. It was really great. So
I'm sorry, we just put this picture up. Make sense of that, because people won't get it.
Okay, so this is Demetri that we did a year and a half ago. And these are some of the performers. Were 100 sheep that were... the shepherd was Zeppelins. We actually had 4 Zeppelins. It was a work by Louis Andriessen. Beautiful, beautiful work. And the sheep came in the 4th act, which meant we had to build a soundproof room because you couldn't hear them. You see, they'd have to come off stage.
Right.
Yeah, and they'd otherwise be going, bah, and you'd
Talk about
hear them in the
unique.
audience. Yeah, yeah. We also flooded the drill hall at one time for a performance.
Intentionally.
Yes, we've done it unintentionally a few times, but this was actually intentional.
What was the intentional flooding for?
That was a work by Douglas Gordon, who was doing, there was a piano series with Alain Grimaud, and Douglas Gordon, the video artist, was creating the mise en scène and decided what would be beautiful, because it was a program of water-related music, would be to fill the drill hall with 122,000 gallons of water, which would disappear. So when Alain walked in, there was no water. And then as she started to play in the piano in the middle of the room, the whole room would flood up. Oh, it was stunning. It was really great. That's what we do, because you can't do this kind of work in a traditional theater.
You need an extraordinary space. By the way, you go all the way from that to one of my all-time favorites. By the way, Jen Eichlin, our executive producer, Bobby Carnival performed here. We need him here at WNET.
Yes.
What did he do there?
One of the best. Oh, my God. He was Yank and Harry Ape, the Harry Ape, directed by Richard Jones. And what we did was we created a circular stage that was 137 feet in diameter. And it moved, exactly. And then it had sort of, they were like containers, and they would move around the audience that was in the middle. So all of these scenes moved, and that's Bobby hanging onto a girder. Oh, my God. It was an amazing, amazing. We had 8 Drama Desk nominations, which was exciting.
How much do you love, I got about a minute left, how much do you love your work?
Oh, I love my work.
You really
What
do.
could be more fun than having artists do crazy things they would never be able to do otherwise?
Talk about being able to do things that others didn't think were possible. We are in a certain space.
Yeah.
Lincoln Center. You had a hand in Lincoln Center before it was Lincoln Center.
I was. Well, not before it was Lincoln Center.
Before
but
we were
it was
this Lincoln Center is what I meant.
Yeah. Totally.
Alice Tully, the whole, like...
Right. Yeah. I was the executive director of the redevelopment. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that thing.
Yeah. No, and can I say, and hired Liz Diller and Rick Scofidio and Charles Renfro. I mean, they are the designers beyond anything else, and that's what you see out there is their beautiful
You are the
work.
quintessential New Yorker. Were you born and raised here?
Toronto, Canada.
Oh, are you kidding me?
No, seriously, I'm an immigrant.
Yes, that's why immigration is a great thing.
You got it.
Because you are here. Well done.
Thank you.
And that's why we're here
Thanks
at the
so
Tisch
much.
WNET studio at Lincoln Center. Thank you so much.
Really fun.
People should go
Thank you.
check it out.
Okay.
That was great.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. This special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by the Turrell Fund, supporting Right From the Start NJ. The Nicholson Foundation, supporting Right From the Start NJ. Hackensack Meridian Health, Seton Hall University, New Jersey Sharing Network, Kessler Foundation, and by Suez. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.